What is up? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon here on your lunch hour, in your lunch hour, wherever the hell you are at. Uh, Welcome. So today we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills Mafia. Yes, I'm excited for this episode. Why? Because Josh Allen is one of my favorite players coming in. I just love this guy. He's electrifying. He's one of the greatest players that we have now. Arguably, probably the best quarterback. Some may say Patrick Mahomes, but right now, I would say he's the guy. He's the guy. Consensus ADP as of late, he has been going number one in superflex leagues. He's been gone in first rounds, as in startup leagues, dynasty, things like that. So I'm really excited to see what the Bills actually do. And to be honest, I really think that it's their year. But people may argue like, oh no, it's we still got the Chiefs. They can't beat the Chiefs and blah blah blah. But the thing is about the Chiefs is they lost their number one option, and honestly, that was the one guy that beat him was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is gone. So, is there a chance that the Bills meet them in the playoffs and then we have a chance for the Bills to actually overcome that hump that we did not see them in the last couple of years? I mean, obviously, the Buffalo Bills have won the AFC East for what, second consecutive seasons. In 2021, we saw them lose in the wild card, or they beat the New England Patriots in the wild card, right? So again, in their division, advanced into the Kansas City Chiefs, and we all saw that heartbreak. We saw what assumably we thought they would win, but due to the rules of the coin flip and all that, and both teams should have a chance, we did not get to see that. So that really sucked. So can I hear myself? Okay. All right, making sure my mic works. All right. So other than that, though, I'm pretty sure that they have the easiest schedule. And let me see here. Let me pull that. There we go. Thanks, Mark, to my co-host who is not here today. Him and his family tested positive. Yeah, COVID can just really F off, right? Unfortunately, it is in our lives now. We are living with it, and it's not going to change. We're now treating it like the flu. So, with things being lingering around, with it evolving, this also affects how we play our fantasy football with bye weeks. This also affects how we live our lives. NFL schedules getting changed, and what's more crazy is we have more teams going outside of the country this season. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see. Besides the London game, I think we're going to Mexico, and we're also going to Germany as well. So I'm excited for those. Don't quote me on which teams are going right now. I just cannot think of it on top of my head. But I know that it's going to be an interesting season. So where did I leave off of? I'm talking about Buffalo Bills losing in the divisional round. Tyreek Hill, obviously just demolished them. It was like 150 yards and a touchdown. I think it was almost 2 touchdowns, but I think they kind of veered him off in the fourth. So it's unfortunate. So now that we don't see that there, and the Chiefs have a somewhat of a downgrade of a receiving crew from what a lot of people are saying, I think they're going to still be okay. I think the Chiefs are still going to somehow manage, due to what Andy Reid in his mind, how the way it works. I think that he's still going to utilize what he has and still produce something. So don't sleep on the Chiefs just because they lost Hill. Good luck to Tyreek Hill. I hope he does well in Miami, because why? Maybe he didn't really need it, so he could prove himself. My bad. So he could prove himself how well he did, and show that he didn't really need Reid, or he didn't need Mahomes. He's an overall good player. And speaking of Miami, they're also in the Bills division. Father's Day is coming up, and I'm hoping that the Dolphins have a gift basket for Josh Allen, because clearly we talk about QBs owning other teams. Josh Allen owns them. And yeah, there's the joke of Rodgers owning the Bears. Shout out to my Bears guys in the Nerd Huddle. But Josh Allen does own the Miami Dolphins. So what's up, Derpy? Thanks for joining in, man. How are you doing? So DK Metcalf to the Bills. No. Screw the Chiefs and Juju. Sell it. Relax there, man. No, I don't know. That's not gonna happen. With their depth chart right now, they just drafted a new rookie receiver who I'm gonna get to right real quick. But Diggs, Gabriel, and they just signed Jameson Crowder as well. So I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, can it? I mean, I guess there's a slight chance. Anything's possible, right? But I just don't see it. I really don't see it. The Bills, they're like $5 million in cap, so they're gonna have to make a move or two in order for that to happen. And I'm not thinking that he's cheap either. So why I put the evil on you? Look, man, look, Ricky Bobby. Okay, I'm not trying to put that evil on you, but look, the fact is, it's. I'm sorry. I love you guys in Chicago, but I'm sorry. So, look, when you see a quarterback come to your house and just take over the place, it's kind of easy for Rodgers to say that he owns you. But I'm just trying to say that Josh Allen goes to Miami and he owns them ever since his rookie year. And there's been some games where I've been hyped up on Josh Allen ever since his rookie year, and I love Josh Allen. People say like, well, when he was first coming in, people were like, well, I don't know if he's going to be that great. I don't know if he's going to be that good of a quarterback. People were on Josh Rosen. They were on a higher hype than Josh Rosen coming in than Josh Allen. And that was crazy. Like, I know Wyoming, is not that, great of a school, like a big of a school where they produce, gargantuan, like big player names, guys. But I'm hoping Chad Muma, linebacker that came out this year, kind of proves them wrong. Obviously, Josh Allen did, but maybe Chad Muma could do the same thing. So, Metcalf is average Joe's gymnasium, dude. Come on, man. Nah, dude. That's messed up, man. DK Metcalf is a lot better than that, dude. And I'm referring to Chicago average Joes. Sorry, Brian. Yeah, Brian, wherever you're at, dude. So Brian is also part of the Nerd Huddle. Like, he does his own Tuesday show. They run their Chicago Bears show on the Nerd Huddle. The link in the description is below. If you're a Bears fan, check them out. Really, really cool guys. I work with them here. We all come together on Sundays and we just talk all kinds of madness. I think we're having a mock draft this Sunday as well. But Brian said a few weeks ago that the Bills have the least physical season this year. So they have the best odds of 100% healthy going on to playoffs. Yes. It's a really nice schedule, to be honest. Like, there's some few hard ones here and there. Some, like, obviously they're starting off with the Rams opening up the year. Titans, I think it's going to be easy. Dolphins is going to be easy. The Ravens, whatever they're doing over there in the run game, I think they can overcome them. I think they can overcome the Steelers in a way. The Chiefs is going to be that real granddaddy of them all because they need to get over that hump. And then week 7 bye early. I don't like that, though. But we'll I'm going to talk about the schedule later on. Right now, let's continue what I was saying. They re-signed or they signed Von Miller, and they got themselves Rogers Safford to protect Josh Allen. Von Miller is obviously a Super Bowl champ. Does he have some left in the tank? Yeah, I think he's got a year or two left, and I think this is the best opportunity for him to get another ring. They have a chance to get another ring, guys. And I think he made the smart decision. I'm going to go out with another ring. I'm going to go to a team that potentially can win this season, and I think that the Bills can do it. So besides those signings, they lost Cole Beasley, they lost Emmanuel Sanders, but they also got Jameson Crowder, as I mentioned earlier. So, two old guys for another old guy, right? Basically, well, I mean, I guess Jameson Crowder isn't entirely that old. He's old, kind of. In my eyes, I feel like he's on the downfall at 29 years old. If you play Dynasty, that kind of worries you a little bit. But if he still produces, I mean, he's going to be a good wide receiver 3. I mean, look at his quarterback. If the quarterback is really elite, they're going to, make crap happen. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be interesting on what Sean McDermott does with this team, and with offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey coming in, and defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Like it's going to be a very interesting team, and I think they can do it. But again, let's talk about the draft. And Alyssa, hi, how you doing? How you doing, Alyssa? That's a 6 Bills jersey. Why have I never? Because I've never done a Bills episode. And thank you. It's one of my favorite jerseys too. It's kind of like that odd color pattern that's not really typically what you see as Bills. But thank you. It's a Josh Allen jersey. So, but thank you so much. And you're all right. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad. You can stop in and just join in the chat. It's always good to see that you're good and you're alive and you're still kicking. So. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you. It's one of my favorites as well. So, as I was saying, let's dive deep into the draft of what they did. Ultimately, in my opinion, I think they did a really, really great job for what they had, and they drafted for what they kind of needed. Some people might question on what they did, but I don't know. For me, I think it just did a fine job. So let's see. Kari Elam, a cornerback out of Florida. This pick was originally Baltimore, traded to Arizona. Arizona traded to Buffalo Bills. They got some defensive DBs in there, which I'm glad, because this guy's gonna come. He's gonna come in and he's gonna help out Micah Hyde, and he's gonna help out Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White and Taron Johnson. It's gonna go in, and I think he's gonna help him out a lot. He's gonna come in and he's gonna have really good teachers. You know what I mean? Like some good DBs that have been in the game for a while, especially Micah Hyde. Was one of the top safeties last season. I think he's going to come in and he's going to show him the ropes as a DB. I know it's a safety position to a corner position, but I mean, still, ultimately, the physicality of what you do as a DB, it's still there. Back pedal, push off, whatever, all that good stuff. So I think he's in a really good spot to learn and be in a team that could potentially be having a good winning seasons, plural seasons, for the next couple seasons. So yeah. So anyways, they went got Kerry Elam so at a number 1, and then James Cook was RB no, running back out of Georgia. I like James Cook. I really do. Now, this was an interesting pick. I did not think that they were going to get James Cook. I thought they were going to get themselves, like a lineman or a linebacker or something this early, but instead they went with a running back. And I know ultimately Bills running backs, it's kind of scary to draft them in your guys' draft. Why? Because, well, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the running back, and he runs, he does everything, but gotta hold on, because they said that this year he might get reduction on his run game this season. But I'm not too worried about Josh Allen owners. Why? Because that means he's going to throw more. He's going to play a little smarter, in my opinion. I think it's going to be okay. But I think we'll get a reduction on the run challenge plays with him near the goal line. We'll see a little bit more Singletary, and as of now, right now, Singletary is out of camp. From what I last heard, is right now RB1, which is crazy. I think James Cook is going to come in, and he's going to be that good pass catcher that they needed. Ultimately, this draft pick was Cincinnati's, but he went to the Bills. So I think they have a very versatile back, three backs, with Zack Moss, who's pushed all the way down to like fourth straight behind Duke Johnson, which is worries me about Zack Moss. Is he not as good as what we thought coming in last season? Because last season he was saying, or we were all predicting he was going to be the number one running back there. For the first couple weeks, we're like, oh yeah, it's Zack Moss, and Singletary is going to get faded out. But towards the back end of the season, Singletary is like, hey, dude, nah, man, this is still my show. I'm still under contract. I'm still going to make a run for it. So uh, he did what he did best. And now Singletary right now out of camp is, from what I'm hearing, last. Um, and I could be wrong, but he's going to be the RB1. He's showing the RB1 talent. I think he will be still. I think with him and James Cook, nice 1-2 punch. So we'll see what happens. So besides getting Von Miller in the offseason, they wouldn't get an 89th pick. They went out and got themselves another linebacker, Terrell Bernard, out of Baylor. This guy, he's going to learn from the best. Super Bowl champs, 2-time Super Bowl champ, by the way. He's going to learn from the best. You could tell him everything that he's learned through being in different defenses with the Rams, being different defenses with the Broncos. Terrell Bernard, I for IDP purposes, I would not be surprised if this guy actually splashes the first year towards the back end. If you guys want to draft this guy and put him in your taxi squad, I would not hesitate to do that either. It's on a solid defense. I think with the other linebackers of Matt Milano being there and Tremaine Edmonds. Okay, well, for those who still like Tremaine Edmonds, sorry but not sorry. He hasn't shown me to be a linebacker 1 in IDP leagues. He's more of a linebacker 3, and it's that bad. He hasn't shown me, and I know the talent's there. I know we love him, and if you've seen him in college, he did really great. And I just don't know if it's transitioning into the NFL. So it kind of worries me. If I don't think they're going to pick up his 5th year, and I'm surprised. If I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't already, and they're probably just going to let him go. So obviously being Terrell in there, it's going to definitely shake up and stir the pot, and probably boot him out the door eventually. So next pick, 5th round, Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. This guy could potentially be wide receiver 3. He's 6 foot 190, still rookie. Still small. It's gonna take some time for him to build in, but as of now, he's no Stephon Diggs, he's no Gabriel Davis, he's no Jameson Crowder. He's gonna have to learn from these guys. And Isaiah McKenzie too. So and I like McKenzie. McKenzie's actually a good threat. If either one of these 3 guys, Diggs, Davis, or Crowder go down, Isaiah McKenzie's a perfect, good substitution. So I'm not worried about Josh Allen throwing any of these guys. You got to, and the other pass catcher, he's got Dawson Knox. They just acquired Howard, which was kind of surprising to me. So I'm kind of interested on what they're going to do with 3 or 4 of these tight ends, because they also drafted Jalen Watermeyer, who they picked. I'm not even there. They picked up Jalen Watermeyer through free agency, I believe, right? He's no. They got Matt Ariza as a punter, Christian Benford, and then Luke Tenuta, offensive tackle, and then Balin Spector, and then they acquired Jalen Watermeyer. I believe it was a free agent or something like that. So either way, I know we were talking about him. We actually showcased him on our show months ago, how well he was going to put himself into the NFL. He's 4th string, so behind Tommy Sweeney and Howard and Knox. Obviously, Knox is going to be the goal line threat. So I think Josh Allen's going to be just fine getting that. But it's a shame that my co-host is not here because this guy, from what people are calling this guy, the punt god. Okay, this guy is probably going to be a Hall of Famer if he transitions what he's doing in college into the NFL. This guy averages like 52 yards per kick. So I mean, that's really good for I mean, he can cough the corner really well. One of the best punters I've seen coming out of college. So it's interesting to see what they're gonna do, what the Bills gonna do, and then it's funny that he went to a team that are they even gonna use him that much? So they took him in the 6th round. They didn't have a 4th round. They only had 1 5th round. They had 3 6th rounders. He was the first of the 6th round. And then following that, another corner out of Villanova, Christian Benford, and then offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech, Luke Tenuta. All these were prior picks from other teams, but they still managed to get themselves, draft picks. The only one they were missing was the 4th. So, and then the 7th pick, Balin Spector, linebacker out of Clemson. Again, all these players have potential of going in. But I'm a firm believer that sometimes these later round guys they just don't produce. To get a good enough punter that good in the 6th round, hey, I'll take the best punter in the league. I'll easily take the best punter in the league if I was running a team. So I don't think they're going to be worried about punting the ball anytime soon. But if that's the case, they don't have any worries. Now, hopefully this rookie can do it. I know sometimes they come into league and pressure, NFL, first year jitters type stuff. So we'll see how that goes with them. So anyway, so that's the draft. Overall, I think they did pretty good. Overall, I think they did what they needed to get to build up this team for later years in the future. So that's my opinion. Overall I give them like an A, to be honest. All right, so let's move on with the depth chart. I want to talk about these guys for sure about IDP. As those who don't know, this is also an IDP channel. I'm trying to get that IDP going, man. IDP is really fun. If you haven't tried it, go ahead and try it this season. If you're watching, if you're interested in it at all, I have an open league at 18-man guillotine. The link is down in the description. What is IDP? IDP stands for individual defensive players. So if you've done fantasy football, now in this league, IDP is I do defensive players. So you get to watch both sides of the ball. So not only like your linebackers, your corners, and your defensive tackles, if they make a tackle, that counts as points. If they catch an interception, that counts as points. Sacks, they can't count as points. Sack yards, in my league, I have all that. So it's not just offense. You're just where they just draft a whole defensive team, and it's like, oh yeah, my defense is doing pretty well. And typically a league is about 8 to 12 league members. So the top 8 to 12 teams are only going to get drafted. But here it's like a little bit more into it, where if you draft yourself a linebacker and you're against your own running back, do you know how many points you can score in that week? It's crazy. Your running back runs into your linebacker and you get double points. Why? Because your linebacker actually tackles the running back at double points. Not only you get yards, points for the yards. If you do points per carry, you probably get those points. I'm not a big fan of that, but there are leagues like that. And then you get points for the tackle from your linebacker. So, I used to play with my dad, draft his team, but that's about it. And that's fine. You know, it's fine. It's not for everyone, but you know what? I appreciate you being here, Alyssa. I really do. I know you like to come in here and you like to hype up your new favorite team, the Broncos, and I know you're a former Seahawks fan, but I appreciate you being here. But yeah, so IDP, if anybody's interested, there's I have plenty of slots left. It's in the links description below. If you click on it, it's an 18-man guillotine. It's a different type of league. If you're not familiar with the guillotine league, it's okay. So IDP, the way I made a guillotine league is because some people may or may not like it, and it's also a good trial run. Do the best you can, because at the end of the season, the winner will get themselves a jersey. It's a Dynasty Pylon jersey that basically has your favorite team. It's going to say Dynasty Pylon on the back. It's probably going to be either the second one or the third one, because we only gave out one so far. So you can earn yourself a jersey at the end of the year if you win. So the way guillotine works is basically the last team with the lowest scoring points, their entire team gets depleted. I'm not kicking you out of the league. Don't worry. You can hang out. You can still talk crap. You can still hang out and see where your players go. But your team will no longer have players, and it's going to be points based from the lowest team. Every week, their team is going to get depleted into waiver pool, and people can grab from free agency and waiver and things like that, and they can continuously grab and build their team. At the end of the season, you're gonna have two Titans at the end of the season. So hey, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in, digging the channel. I feel like you should have more traffic on this channel with as much content you put out. But hey, I'm starting a new at football and cooking channel, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Dude, look, I don't get it, man. I'm here. I talk what I do, and I love doing this. This is my forte, I guess. I don't know. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. Not the specific channel. Fantasy football, I started really, really young. I was like 11 years old, and I'm really convinced the reason I ended up doing fantasy football was because one of my good friends' dad introduced us to it, and he goes, "Hey, you guys want to do fantasy football? Well, what's that?" And then he goes, "Oh, you do this, this, and that." I'm like, I'm pretty sure he just wanted our lunch money. I'm pretty sure he just wanted our lunch money. But then he created monsters, and then here I am doing this. So going strong, hopefully. But yeah, do you stream and upload content on other platforms? Kind of, sort of. I do Twitch and Facebook on the Nerd Huddle. So this specifically YouTube channel is Dynasty Pylon. I'm also in with company with Nerd Huddle. It's a smaller channel as well, but we are growing. And that channel, we have Spoiler Kings. I give you a whole little rundown of it real quick. But I know if maybe one or two of them are watching right now. But we do movie reviews. There's a Tuesday Bears channel, which if you're a Bears fan, go ahead and watch that. It's not particularly my favorite. I actually go in there and I talk crap, to be honest. I troll on them so hard because I love them. But Spoiler Kings is a separate channel. It's all under Nerd Huddle. Morning Spike is where it's at. It's funny. We do spikes during the season. All those channels, Sunday mornings, we just come in and we just clown on each other. And we take spike bets. It's a really fun time. And then we help you guys throughout the fantasy football league. I'm pretty sure one of us, or one continuously guy that comes in every year, we have helped him with his championship. So, when does that happen exactly? Well, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I'm always down to talk crap. Yeah, I know, Alyssa. I know you're always down to talk crap. But let me put that up real quick. It's typically. Well, you know the Tuesday show, Alyssa. That's the one you typically come in and talk crap to those guys. It's the Spoiler Kings Mondays and Wednesdays right after our nightly show on Wednesdays. We just covered Kenobi. That was a really fun thing to talk about. But I'm getting off topic, but that's where we talk about movies that just freshly come out. I don't know how those guys do it. I can't keep up with the fresh movies, but when it comes to TV shows, I could do that. But the new movies, Tank and Brian, they're just they go out in movies, they see it, and then they come Monday morning and they spoil it for everyone. That's what they do. They're the Spoiler Kings. But anyways, yeah, go check them out. All those links and descriptions are down below. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that Guillotine League, get yourselves in. Again, I have that jersey coming out at the end of the season. If you want to try and compete for it, go for it. And yeah, I avoid that stream. Hey, look, you can still come in and talk crap, say your 2 cents and leave. I'm totally cool with that. We love you. So but anyways, yeah, so again, the Guillotine League, last two teams are going to be some massive titans, both individual defensive players and also offense. So I'm interested in how that's going to run. That's the first time we're going to do it. So getting that leg before it feels. Yeah, there's still some spots. There's plenty of spots left. So if you're interested, go for it. Yeah, we still love you regardless. She likes to beat us down, and then she just leaves us there, and we kind of try and raise our spirits up on ourselves. So, all right. So where did I leave off? We're going to talk about the depth chart, right? So let's talk about the Bills depth chart. And I like using our lads. It's one of my favorites. But it's here we go. All right. So I like using our lads. Kind of highlights the new rookies coming in. Kind of gives out the head coaches and all that stuff. So, Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, and Von Miller. So they're putting me at edge runner here. So at right defensive end. So linebacker / edge runner. So I'm interested in seeing what they do there. But we will see how he implements his old ass in there. Regardless of how old he is, I still think he's a great player. He's still a great player. I don't care what you say. Obviously, he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ, and I'm excited to what they do. So, honestly, in IDP leagues as defensive lineman, I think Gregory Rousseau, this is going to be his year. He showed some flashes last season. He's going to be a sneaky pick for me. I think if you're doing an IDP league, I wouldn't burn a high pick for him, but I think he's going to be one of those sleeper picks. And I think last year I called out a few linebackers. Linebackers are typically a lot easier to call out, but when it comes to defensive linemen, it's really tough. There's some leagues out there that don't even do defensive linemen in IDP leagues. Mike, wherever you're at, get right crew. I know that they just don't do defensive linemen. You gotta give the big fella some love, man. You gotta give the big fella some love. They open it up for your linebackers. So yeah, Gregory Rousseau, I think, is going to be a big time sleeper in this defense. So I'm excited for him. Matt Milano, Von Miller, and Tremaine Edmonds obviously are the main linebackers. I guess you'd say main 2 linebackers, because if they're gonna, according to this, they have Von Miller as a edge runner. So that's kind of interesting to me to see. So we'll see how that goes with them. But as of now, Kari Elam, obviously left corner. They have him right corner. Tre'Davious White at right corner. Mike Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Look, I love Micah Hyde, but he's getting up there in age, and I really hope that at some point, they find a good safety in the next couple of years draft, and he could show them the rope. I know they got Christian Benford. Can he teach him the right things? Yeah, maybe. So we'll see what happens. But as of now, that's their guy. I enjoyed having him on my IDP leagues. I threw him in my lineup all the time. Jordan Poyer was a set and plug. My bad. Just leave him in your lineup as safety and just forget about it. That guy was that good, especially in the beginning of the half of the season. So, I'm excited with this defense. I really am. Boogie Basham right behind Gregory Rousseau was actually drafted just before Gregory Rousseau, was he not? Or was it the other way around? I got that much. Yeah, it was the other way around. So, still a good linebacker. My bad. Edge runner. So I have a feeling if they're running a 4-3, Von Miller's going to be behind Boogie Basham for sure. So I'm excited for what they're going to do. But let's see. There's back there. Thanks, Tank. That's our producer back there. Shout out to you guys right there. But so I'm not worried about this defense overall. Redraft leagues, if you do like whole defenses, I would not be surprised if this is going to be the first defensive drafted. Of course, if you're smart, you draft your defensives towards the end of your draft, not the beginning of your draft. For those who are new to fantasy football, I would hold off on your kickers and defensives towards. Typically, if I'm doing like a 16-man or 15-man type roster, those last 4 picks, I usually do defense, kicker, defense, and then maybe an extra player. That's just how I like doing it. There's some guys that really love certain kickers or really love certain defense. They draft them early, like round 13 or 12 or 14. Yeah, it's whatever. But that's hey, more power to them if that's what they want to do. So let's talk about this offense, right? It's going to be a really fun offense. I'm excited for it. Only personally because why? Well, we all know why. Josh Allen. My love for Josh Allen is really high. Again, you say what you say. This guy's really good. I've been hype trained since he was with Wyoming. And there's one game where I was watching him in Wyoming. I fell in love with him when I know this is gonna sound weird at first, but he threw an interception, and it was a long bomb. He threw an interception. Most quarterbacks were just throwing their arms up and gave up. Like, oh, I'm not gonna catch that guy. No, not Josh Allen. Why? He ran him down all the way, and he took an angle. He got him towards the end of the opposite side of the end zone, but he did not give up on the ball. So typically, you don't see that like that consistent, like, oh crap, like I have to recover this and I got to make up for my mistake and I'm not going to let him score. Like, I think that poise that I saw from him, like, dude, this guy's going to be something. So I know it's a weird way of how I fell in love with him, but when he came in, I felt bad for him because a lot of people were trashing on him. A lot of people, even Bills fans, weren't even excited to have him. To be honest, they did not. When he came in, he was like this last year's Trey Lance. He has potential. He can do it. But he needs to be developed. What else is doing? We're not sure if he's quarterback ready year 1. We're not sure if he's going to be quarterback year 2. It's going to take some time, but sure enough, when I saw him his rookie year, I'm going to say my favorite game was probably that week 3 against Minnesota when he jumped over Anthony Barr. That was a really cool play. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube somewhere. I'm not going to put it out right now because I could probably get in trouble showing NFL YouTube clips on here. YouTube does copyright stuff all the time. I can't even play freaking music on the background, which I wish I could, because Twitch, you could get away with murder and it's fine. But YouTube's a little bit more they copyright stuff, so it's fine. They have their brand and they got to copy to it, and they got to stick to it, so it's fine. Rules are rules. Not all rules can be broken, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So again, Josh Allen, either you liked him when he played towards the end of the season, Miami in his rookie year, and he just torched them, or that Thanksgiving game when he was against Dallas. All those were great games, and all those were in his rookie years. And I think that point is when the Bills realized they have themselves a quarterback, and they went through Ryan Fitzpatrick. They went through all kinds of other quarterbacks that they liked, but it wasn't that who they wanted or who they needed at the time, and it was just like, well, I guess we'll try it with Josh Allen and see how it goes. And sure enough, he proved them all wrong, and I'm glad he got himself there. So that's enough about Josh Allen, though. Obviously, we like him. I like him. And I'm a Falcons fan. And this is how much love I have for Josh Allen. So, anyways, Case Keenum is his backup, and Matt Barkley. We've seen Matt Barkley do a couple plays in there whenever Josh Allen wasn't there, or preseason or something. Overall, not entirely, like, it's not like they're throwing scrubs out there, right? So that is what it is. Josh Allen is probably going to obviously be the top 5 QB, obviously. followed closely by Mahomes. I still think Mahomes is still going to do it. And then maybe Justin Herbert. I really think Justin Herbert is going to be top 3. Those guys are going to probably be in the top 5, easy, in my opinion. Seeing what happens this season, of course, outside of injury, of course, say that they stay healthy. I think it's going to happen. So, Hefe, what is up, my guy? Chiefs. Yep. I'm glad you stopped by. Today we're talking about the Bills, dude. We're talking about the Bills, but it's all good, man. Is this the Bills' year? I think so, man. I think so. But I'm not going to dog on your Chiefs too much because I think that the Chiefs are still going to be able to be a threat. Now, I know you lost Hill. I know you're probably salty about it. Get over it. You lost him. He's not there. You still got Mahomes, and you still got Andy Reid, and you still got plenty of talent to make it happen. The defense has improved, and I hope you watched that our Chiefs episode not too long ago. We have a full episode on Chiefs. I still think they could do it. But I think Hill was that small piece to destroy the Bills. It's this small little touch of salt on the top, and I think that's what did it. And also the coin flip, whatever, get over it. But I also think it's the Bills' year. I really hope so. It would be nice to see them. They haven't done anything in such a long time. And Chiefs, Josh Kryptonite, I wouldn't say too much. I wouldn't say too much about Kryptonite. But we'll see, man. And yeah, that's our crew over there. That's the Nerd Hole. Yeah, of course. That's probably our producer back there clicking away, clicking buttons. But I appreciate him being in here. All right, so I was talking about the offense. So let's talk about who Josh Allen's going to throw to, right? I mentioned Khalil Shakir, wide receiver, coming in as new weapon for him. Jameson Crowder, Gabriel Davis, and Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, how can I put this? Is this too harsh to say that he's like an older version of DJ Moore? And I don't want to put him there, but he produces numbers. And the first year when Stephon Diggs 2 years ago ended up in the Bills, we didn't expect that great of a year. Typically, a new receiver goes to a new team and they just don't produce. Why? Because the chemistry's not there. They're still developing. But man, something clicked that year and they had it. Last year we didn't see that, and I think people were like, okay, we have to cover Diggs, get rid of his best weapon, and then we can stop them, right? Not. Why? Because Knox was there. Knox was the guy who's like, okay, well, if you're going to cover him, I'm going to go underneath and get all these touchdowns or whatnot. And then Gabriel Davis did amazing in the playoff games in the Chiefs game. Sorry, that was a really good game. Honestly, if I could remember my favorite Bills man, I know this is too early to say this. I would say it's the Anthony Barr jump against Minnesota. But last year's playoff game was one of the greatest games I've ever seen in playoff history. It was the Chiefs and Bills. Those guys really wanted it, man. It was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. One overlapped the next. It was amazing. I remember watching that game at Native New Yorker or Native Grill, some whatever. It was a pizza place, wings, beer establishment, right? People were there. It was crazy. It was people were rooting for the Bills. People were rooting for the Chiefs, and this is in Arizona, right? Arizona is got a mixed crew of teams. It's not just Arizona. Like typically you go to other states, like, oh yeah, they're dedicated to that team. No, not this state. This state is like all kinds of fans. Me, I'm a Falcons fan sitting in the middle of Arizona. But do I love Josh Allen? Yes, of course I love Josh Allen. But yeah. And plus I won $1.80. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Braden. I forgot about that. Yeah, so we were also playing DraftKings. I was, nervous, and we were betting low numbers, right? But yeah, no, we're doing a fantasy draft. If you haven't done DraftKings like does quarterly bets like a fantasy football. You pick 5 players for each quarter and how well they do. It's pretty fun. I think we were just doing dollar bets. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Why? Because we were slamming drinks left and right. One of our good friends, James, who recently passed away, and God bless his whole soul. He was the life of the party, man. So James, I miss you, buddy. I hope you're watching wherever you're at. But it was really he made that day really fun, especially with that game. So made a bet with a bar owner downtown where I live. He's a Bills fan, and I lost and had to wear his Allen jersey for the following week, bro. During the Packers game? Ooh. Man. That's rough, man. That's rough. I'm sorry, dude. But that's cool, man. I bet all your Packers buddy and everyone were making fun of you. I'm assuming from your profile picture you're a Packers fan, right? That sucks, dude. I bet they rose a lot of question. What the hell are you wearing that for, dude? But yeah, so anyways, you put 50 on the game. Yeah, dude. Look, I was betting. No, I think I was doing like dollar bets, man. Like I was already a few drinks in. And I know if I was doing the responsible thing of doing small amounts, because if I knew if I put too much money, I would have broke the bank. So I was like, no, let's hold on, because the bill hasn't even came in yet, and God knows how much that was. So again, it was a really good game. But that was my favorite moment of Bills and Chiefs. So Hefe, I'm glad you're here for me to talk about that game. So all right, so who Jameson Crowder, Gabriel Davis, and Stephon Diggs. Again, three good receivers, and then Knox. So if they go do with that strategy that they mentioned earlier, if they're not going to run him as much, I'm not too worried. He still has all these weapons to throw to, and I think it's going to be just A-okay, to be honest. If not better than A-okay, they're going to be great. And it's like Hefe said, I think it's the Bills' year. I really do think it is. And I think the AFC West is going to beat each other up. So no Super Bowl. Yeah. Look, it's gonna be that's gonna be a fun division to watch, though. It really is. With the new additional pieces, it's like 3 powerhouses. So I think it's gonna be really fun to watch. Broncos beat up on them. The Raiders, I think they're still gonna be number 4. I don't think they did enough, but the Devontae Adams edition is nice. And I said that about the NFC West last year. I know. And I was right about one team. The Seahawks weren't going to do anything. The Niners surprised me, even though they had an easy schedule and they still kind of produced. I really don't know what happened to the Cardinals last year. Like they were doing super hot. I was hyped up. Why? Because I made a bet on them. I would have easily won 500 bing bings, man. Easy. But they just died towards the end, and yeah, dude, I don't know. But I think that division is going to be really great too to watch. So moving on, Deion Dawkins, Roger Stafford, Mitch Morrison, Ryan Bates, and Spencer Brown. Pretty good offensive line to protect Josh Allen. Josh Allen is, and he's got them legs too. If everything fails, he can still run, but I think he'll be just fine. We've seen it, what he's done in the last couple seasons. But I think this year they're really gonna try and pass protect and get him to air it out. So we'll see how that runs. Devin Singletary, James Cook, and Duke Johnson. I guess we've seen Duke Johnson play. He has his moments here and there. I'm not too high on him, to be honest. I don't think I would waste a draft pick on him, unless for sure that Devin Singletary and James Cook are for sure injury rest of the season, which I highly doubt. Then maybe Duke Johnson on a waiver wire pick. but I'm not too excited about him. I'm really not. I've seen what he does. He had multiple chances to be the RB1 in Houston, and he just didn't really do anything with it. He was a great college player, but dude, no, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. So, anyways, moving on. And talk about tight ends. Dawson Knox. I know if none of those receivers are gonna get it, Dawson Knox is gonna be the guy. And Braden, I know you're happy to have him on your dynasty team. Because the week I was gonna grab him, I swear you probably clicked add the same like 2 seconds before I did. I swear, but yeah, that's the offense. So, am I excited for the Bills this season? Hell yeah, I am, 100%. I think they're gonna do just great. So let's talk about their schedule, which yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's talk about their schedule. Obviously it's running there. I actually don't have it up. So it's running across the bottom of the screen. So you can probably look at as we got it, but let me see if I can find a schedule I can pull up on the screen so we can all see it at the same time. But from what I know of, it seems to be pretty freaking easy, right? Or I could be wrong. Let's look. But what I'm looking at as it's scrolling down on the bottom, which I haven't looked at yet, even though we put it in there, thank you, Mark. I have not actually physically seen the entire schedule. So let's put that up real quick. There we go. Let's use ESPN. Why? Because it's all bundled up right there in the center. All right. So again, I did mention this earlier. Opening up with LA. In LA. That's going to be a tough one. Super Bowl champs. So should be a good one to watch. And I think that's going to prove how well the Bills are against Super Bowl champs. But then again, can the Super Bowl champs do it again? That's the grand question, especially since they just re-signed Donald. All right, so moving on to Monday night primetime Josh. I love primetime Josh. Mark, I'm sorry, buddy, wherever you're at. I hope you got your test. I hope you guys are okay. Again, I mentioned this earlier. My co-host ended up testing positive. So if you're still lingering around and you get home just in time to show your face, that'd be great. But if not, don't worry about it, buddy. I got it. As you know, it's happened before. So we know that's something we don't play around with. And if you don't feel well, then it's fine. I'll see you tomorrow. Or Monday when we do our other team breakdowns. So, or Sunday on the morning spike. Jesus, I'm all over the place. Morning spike, Sunday morning, early morning. We're all coming together and we're gonna do this mock draft, I believe. Yeah, so that should be fun. So anyways, Tennessee Titans, I think it's gonna be a win. Miami, they own Miami, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And then Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. That's the one I'm most excited about. We'll see how that one actually plays out because I know, I know that a lot of people need to see. It's like little brother, big brother type thing, kind of with Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City for the last couple seasons. But I think Baltimore, we're not even phasing anymore, and I think we're just it's now Kansas City Bills. So who's the better team? And I think I want to see that rematch. And if the Bills win it, then I'm like, damn, that could have been them last season. So, because I don't know, would have been interesting if had the Bills won that, and we seen Cincinnati versus the Bills. Would it have been Bills Rams? Tell me what you think. You think it would have been Bills Rams or would have been still Cincinnati Rams? Because I think it would have been Bills Rams had the Bills beat Cincinnati. But hey, so they got an early bye week here in week 7. Then they host Green Bay Packers. Then they travel to New York. Then Minnesota, Cleveland, Detroit, New England, New York, again with Miami and Chicago. Sorry, that's gonna be a horrible game. For the Bears. So it's gonna be a really bad game. Sorry, guys, but not sorry. The Bills are gonna come in there and just they're going to own you too. Jesus. And then Cincinnati and New England. Oh, hey, we might get to see what could have happened. Hoping that everyone's going to be healthy by then. I mean, that is by January. There might be some key pieces gone. We don't know. So Green Bay, it's going to be a tough reign. I know they don't have like what we all assume, weapons for Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers somehow, some way still gets it done. It's really surprising on how you could give him scrubs and he still makes it happen. I don't understand the level of talent this guy. Back-to-back MVP, and he still freaking gets done. If you hate him, you love him. Like you can't argue on how well the talent's there. It's really good. All right, so and then they go to New York. I think they're going to beat them. I think they beat Minnesota. I think they beat Cleveland. I think they beat Detroit. I think they beat New England. Geez, it's going to be win, all the way down. In my opinion, it's wow. So let's see. This one's going to be interesting. I think it's going to win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's split with New England. How about that? Let's do this. Split with New England. 9, 10, 11, 12 to 13 wins. I would say it's maybe 12 wins at most. Maybe 13 at most. 10 the least. Either way, I think they're going to end themselves. They could easily be the first round bye in the playoffs, get themselves that divisional, playoff win, be national champs and whatever. So yeah, I'm going to say about 11 to 12. So Baltimore defense on run game might wear down teams down. You never know. Yeah, dude. But that's more predictable though, isn't it? Like, we know you're going to run, so we're going to stack more on the box. So if that's what's going to happen, then you're kind of more predictable. I don't know if I feel that they lost Marquise Brown, and we all know how that shook up the draft, and he went to the Cardinals, and I good for them because I think that was a really good addition for the Cardinals, by the way. But to be honest, Rashad Bateman could be a really good sleeper, like a sneaky ninja sleeper, and be, top receiver. But we still have to see that because he's got injuries from last season, and we didn't see much of him. But he showed that he can do it. But it just, I don't know. Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. It's going to be interesting to see what Baltimore really does. And Lamar didn't play as well as he did as the previous year. He did okay, but then there were some games where he just disappointed you, and then he didn't get those fantasy points that you needed. For those who play fantasy football, it was just interesting to see how much a single quarterback can alter your game. I remember one guy in our league, Brian, freaking Derpy mentions Brian all the time. And I just remember Brian just crying about him all the time. He's like, oh yeah, he screwed my entire week up again. I'm like, well, dude, it happens. So yeah, I see 11 games, anywhere between 10 and 10 and 12 games. But I'm gonna say 11. And then we got Braden, guy in the chair, always comes in. Gives us our stat over under on all betting sites, every single one, not just separated. Okay. Underdog and DK and all that, they're all typically they're separated, MGM, but on all of them they're saying at 11.5, and odds are anywhere between a negative 120 to 140. That is amazing. It's easy to say that we're going to see them get themselves in the championship. The only reason I see these guys not getting themselves into the championship, injuries, because the talent's there, defense is there, offense is there. I really don't have anything negative to say about these guys except for what's going to happen with the run game between those three running backs, four running backs now, I guess. Freaking Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson's not a thing. I'm sorry. He's not a thing. Like I'm pretty sure he's a wonderful person. Would I have a beer with him? Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm just saying. I just don't think, you know, some of these guys, you meet them in person, it's like, holy crap, you're a beast, you're a monster. But then, like, when you go to the field, they put them in their own elements, and they're against other gods, godly specimens of bodies that are in the NFL, that they're just not good against their counterparts. So, again, Duke Johnson, I don't ever believe him in fantasy football. I just kind of, yeah, okay, you can have him, sure, go ahead. But I'm pretty sure he's a good person, and I would have a beer with him. I would buy his first round if that makes him feel better. I don't know, but again, Singletary and James Cook are definitely be good additions. If they do go with a strategy of not running Josh Allen as much, for dynasty purposes, I think that's good. Why? Because save some tread on them tires. You don't want your quarterback going out early. As well as he is right now, he's in his prime. I think I don't think you want to, wear him out too much. So overall, I think that's going to be great for what they're doing, especially with the addition of James Cook. And if they're trying to save him, as years goes, they just re-signed him to a massive deal. What was it, six years or something like that? Is that right, Braden? Something like that. I think it was 6 years. It's not top of my head, but Braden, wherever you're at, guy in the chair, give it up for Braden. Again, I'm sure if he's still listening, help me out here, but I'm pretty sure it's a 6-year deal at what, like crap ton of money. I can't even find it or see it, but look, I'm sure outside of this, I'm gonna find it, or unless Braden find it. But regardless of the fact, they just renewed him. That's their quarterback. That's their guy. That's who they're gonna build around in. And it's sad to say that I was on the hype train of Josh Allen a way long time ago, but the problem is they never got him a receiver, a real true receiver. And I was on the Josh Allen hype train before the hype. It wasn't until Stephon Diggs got there and they're like, holy crap, Josh Allen can do something. Well, yeah, when you give someone who's talented another talented receiver, things kind of happen. You know what I mean? So regardless of the fact, despite everything I said, I'm putting in a bet that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I really think they do. I really think they have the chance. He's signed until 2028. So yeah, 6 years. I was right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for verifying that. Thank you. And that's Braden, everybody. He comes in on our Wednesday night shows. Good guy. Love having him there. He's a good part of the team. He definitely gives a different perspective from what me and Mark say. But overall, thank you for watching. Let's go Bills. Bills Mafia. I'm rooting for the Bills this season. Why? Because my Falcons are just I really take a lot of heat. That they're building. And I think with Matt Ryan going to the Colts, I'm really excited for him. I really hope he does well there. Another team that I'm rooting for as well. If Matt Ryan somehow gets himself a Super Bowl, again, I wouldn't be upset with that either. Why? Because that's my quarterback, man. You've been attached to the same guy for multiple years. All you want to do is wish him the best. And Detroit Lions fans, you could relate to this. What I'm saying. You watch your boy go to a different team and he won himself a Super Bowl, right? So it's kind of a good feeling. There's multiple videos where you see a bunch of Detroit fans with their Stafford jersey cheering for the damn Rams. So it is what it is. And a spike bet, I don't know against who though, but because I got them winning it all too. Hey, I'm down for a spike bet. Spike bets are a nerd huddle thing. Nerd huddle thing. We kind of do spike bets early during the season. And damn, some of them still owe me. I don't even know if they still work for us, to be honest. But if they're there, you know who you are, and you know that there is 7 spike bets owed to me because we bet on that those individuals. So and we do spike bets with guests too, and I don't think I've ever lost with that. So do I think that Matt Ryan still has some juice left? Yes, I do. I really do. and people doubt that because why? He didn't produce as well as he did last season, only because they haven't really done anything with that line. They gave him some two pieces last year, which they got hurt their rookie years. They came back. There's basically essentially that their sophomore year was their rookie year. They didn't even actually play the whole season. Why? Because they were years. So it's there's a lot of factors that they didn't have, obviously, with Ridley and Julio Jones gone, and then he was just throwing them to Kyle Pitts, and then Patterson. Thank God he freaking saved the day, but it still wasn't enough. They did enough but to kind of sneak some wins in, but it wasn't good enough. They were still towards the top end tier of the draft. With Drake London there, it's going to help out. But I'm not trying to talk about the Falcons too much. Why? Because this is the Bills episode. This is all about Bills. But do I think the Colts are do I also agree with you there? Is it a sleeper? Yes. Hefe Ryan got a few years left. Yeah, dude. I agree. He's got a few years left. Look, ultimately, Matt. Damn it. Damn it, Hefe. All right. Well, we're gonna talk about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, I think, he produces wide receiver once. Look what he did with Roddy White. I know I'm going to take way back. All right. Did it with Roddy White. Did it with Julio Jones. Did it with Calvin Ridley. Did it with Pitts. And Pitts got 1,000 yards on his rookie year. Problem is, he just didn't hit any touchdowns. And people don't really know that. He got 1,000 yards, man. His only touchdown was in London, and it wasn't like he had there was the joke about that when Kyle Pitts actually scored his touchdown in the Pro Bowl game. He's like, oh yeah, my first touchdown's in US soil, which was pretty freaking funny. But look, Matt Ryan's gonna go to the Colts. He's gonna produce a wide receiver one, and I have a feeling it's gonna be Michael Pittman. And so that's gonna be another sleeper pick that I think I'm gonna be high on. But look, other than that, I don't want to talk about the Falcons too much because why? We're talking about the Bills. So again, the Bills Super Bowl chance, in my opinion, I think they're going to do just fine. I think they're going to be the team to beat, and people are going to be intimidated by them because they have everything. They drafted everything they needed, and I think they're going to do what everything at all costs, as long as outside of injury, I think they can do it. Colts defense is solid in that run game. 100%. So, adding with Matt Ryan there, I think it's going to be fun. And I think that's going to be probably the best quarterback they've had in 2-3 seasons. From arguably, people might say Phillip Rivers, and you can't tell me Wentz was the guy. But look, Buffalo Bills. I'm rooting for you guys. I really am. So spike bet again. When they're all saying spike, I don't guess who, but I'm winning it all. I'm putting it all on them too. So, anyways, that's our show, or my show, right? And so, Mark, I hope you're okay wherever you're at. If you're in line getting your test, I hope it turns out negative. Someone tested and positive in his family, so I hope they're all good. I hope you guys come out. Obviously, Braden is still hanging around, so and he was in contact with them too. I think something like that. So I'm looking in the positive side. We'll see him again. So get well, Mark. Yeah, for sure. All right. Anyways, and you're home now. Oh, dude, I'm just about to close out the show. Well, that's Mark, everybody. This non-bearded face down here is not Mark. Add some hair to that face, and that's Mark. So and Braden's negative. That's good. That's really good. So I'm glad to hear. Maybe we can do an episode Sunday or coming next week, Wednesday, whenever Braden has a time. Baby Mark. Ha! Yes, that is baby Mark. No bearded baby Mark right there. Nah, man. Nah, he's not fired, dude. COVID is something we can't play around with. Yeah, his family, there was a scare, so they had to go real quick. But I couldn't change the show times due to promises and things that were kind of said today. So it just had to been done. But it's okay. Again, I'm just glad that we did it. It's Josh Allen, so everyone just, it's all good. I think we're gonna be just fine. As Bills fans, I think they're gonna be fine. I don't think there's gonna be anything bad about it. Any bad their season. Hopefully, no injuries drastically happens. And gosh, as a Falcons fan, I am rooting for these guys, big time. Craziness. So, all right. So, the show must go on. Literally, yeah, it does. Sorry, dude. But anyways, that's our show. Thank you, Josh Allen, for giving us a thumbs up and coming in our show, and say goodbye as we all head out. So say goodbye, Josh Allen. Goodbye, Dynasty Pylon. Again, we will be here Sunday morning with the rest of the guys in Nerd Huddle. Again, if you're interested in movies and all that, go ahead, check the links below. Get yourself in that Guillotine League. It's going to be a fun league. Again, there's a jersey at the end. Is number one in fantasy. Yes, he is right now. So later, Nerd Huddle. I will see you guys Sunday. And ultimately, as I always close out, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you're at in the world. This is Dynasty Pylon. My name is Martin, and let's go Bills.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.